absolutely forgive the mess. And if you don't, I ain't gonna sleep over it. I love you, but I'm not gonna sleep over it. So I just got off a Jeffy show. Thanks, Jeffy, for a fantastic show again. And I know the new pieces and parts a lot of people are interested in, and I just kind of casually just let that drift by. But I love Jeffy's show. But I've been working on my monorails through that entire show because, again, I have 21 days or something, I think Jeff just said, until the show. And there is a lot of fixes that I remember when I took down the layout at Jamie's store. And I know the electrical work needs a lot of work. I mean, I finished the box the other day. But I have a lot more work to do on that because I think during the other shows where I don't light it up, some of the Lifelite bricks that are taped to the bottom of some of my base plates had accidentally got ripped off when I was moving the modules around. So I have to figure out which ones, and I have to dig them out and blah, blah, blah. But of course, those boxes are buried in the garage. That'll be my last thing that I fix. But I was mentioning I have to fix my monorails before the show because they didn't seem to, well, it's nothing to do with it. It's just for 3 months and the wires just wore out. So this one was the easiest. Let's get right here. But what I had to do was this little joint right here. When this thing went up and down, it didn't have the room to go up or down because the wire was too tight. So now I got a little bit of a loop in that wire, or just a little bit of a bend in that wire. So now this thing can move wherever it wants. That's what I wanted. So I'm not sure if this is going to fix the issue. When I was going up the ramp, I would get stuck at the top, and the wheels, the gear was no longer engaging with the monorail track. So you're and the motor's just spinning without interfacing. And I think it was because this thing couldn't go down at the top of the ramp. Now I have to test this. And I don't know how I'm going to test this because, of course, all the monorail track that's copperized is in the boxes. But I might go over there, and hopefully I have some ramp pieces left over from before that have copper on them, and just test it. But I also, what I did whilst doing this, I put this. So you might say, hey, there's a wire coming out the bottom and the wire coming out the top, which is not something you can buy. But what I did is I took the 2x2 electric double plate there, and I just took my Dremel and I cut a notch in the other side. There's one notch where the wire comes out, and I put it so the wire can go straight through, which fantastic, by the way. I should have done that numerous years ago for these monorails. Because what I did in other places was I would have a regular monorail power, or just regular 9-volt wire going to a 2x4 electric plate, and then I would attach two because the pickups in the front and the pickups in the back, and I would then more work to get two connectors to one monorail connection. Just a lot more pieces, a lot more whatevers. This way, one wire starts here and the pickups down there. These pickups here, and the wire comes out here, goes in the top here, comes out the bottom, and goes to this pickup. One wire, three spots on it, but it's one wire. And what I did for this one especially is this wire that comes out the bottom goes to another 2x2 electric double plate there, because I wanted to get power into this guy so I could light it up. Now, that's the only thing that lights up is this front piece. I didn't light up anything else, and I thought that's good enough for now. I wanted, because I put all these little 1x1s throughout the entire thing, I wanted those lit up, but that's a lot of little wires that I do not have, nor do I want to put it. But I also ran the wire around here and through here, so I basically took a Dremel to 2x2 bricks or plates to make sure the wire comes down nicely into the next thing, and then this thing goes on top like that. Yay! Hides it. Now, my issue was, this is just my issue. The wires are on top here and here, and those wires would, in any normal circumstance, interfere with this piece, because you can see the wires right there, right on the top. And this is a 1x6 plate going right across. You can see it goes straight across here. So don't tell anybody, shh, don't tell anybody, but you can see I modified both 1x6 plates. So basically I took a jackknife to them and I hacked them out. I didn't make it look pretty. I wasn't going to go, you know, Dremel. I could have made a Dremel. I could have got the Dremel out, but I was on Jeffy's stream and I didn't want to make a lot of noise. So I just took my jackknife and I started whittling away. Yes, I was whittling Lego brick like 5 seconds ago. So I took the 1x6s right in, and you can see on both sides I welded them out, and then it fits perfectly. So there's no seam there at all, and the wire's not in the way. So the wire's right there. The other problem is that you got the wire here on this side, and that would interfere with this top piece when it closes, because these little pieces here would hit the wire. So I started whittling those away. But on this guy, and people say, oh no, you modified this canopy, this blue canopy. I cut the pieces out here. Not to worry, folks. Yes, I modified this one because you see these pressure marks here. That's how I got it from a used lot. This entire corner, as you can see, is still kind of bent in, but the back corner was like really bent in, like somebody stepped on it when it was on the floor. You can see it's bent up. So me cutting out a bent up piece, I ain't too worried. And I specifically remembered this piece and a lot that I got a while back. And I said, why would I modify a good piece, like take a jackknife to a good piece and cut it up, when I know I have a bad piece that would normally have gone into the bin of doom? But this one, even though it is dropped on the floor, even though that has that pressure bend here, you can see it's even bent. I said, I'm going to go find it right now, because I didn't put it in the bin of doom, and I'm going to cut off the corners so it doesn't interfere with the wire inside here. It doesn't interfere with this wire here, because again, they would. If I put this thing on backwards like that, it's going to interfere with this guy. So turn around, and now it's where the pieces aren't. Make sure I got the right. Oh, I had it wrong. There we go. And now it doesn't interfere. Doesn't interfere at all. So it comes right down to the 1x2 tile there, which is on the 2x2 electrical plate pickup. The back, I could have, sorry if you can see it, I could have got it, that's me holding it up. I could have put a tile back there on top of that, and then took a Dremel to a 2x2 tile to put a little notch in it so it's nice and flat. I don't know if I'm going to do that. Nobody sees it, and do I care? And then it just goes into this guy, which is the pickup for there. So all the pickups are connected, and what I do, I make sure, because I don't have a Monorail copperized to test on, I just get one of my train controllers. I flip this thing over on the side, let's see, and I just get the 2 leads. Don't stick these to your tongue. Listen to your Uncle Dave, do not. I know it's only 9 volts, but don't do it. Don't listen to friends. Oh, it's harmless. I am a geek, and I grew up in the times where people say, oh, to test 9-volt batteries, just touch them to your tongue. Never did it. Not once. Not planning on doing it. Oh, it doesn't hurt that much. Don't care. And I'm good with pain. No, I don't want to put electricity through this body if I don't have to. So anyway, so now I just tested it, and I'll put this there, and you can hear the motor. You can see the lights come on. See, the lights come on, and then you go up here. I had to make sure the motor's going the right direction, because if the wires get cross connected, then positive in here, and then that would just short out when I put this thing on the track, and that's bad too. And I know that, and this is why I love Lego, by the way. There's little light right here. When you short out for a second, that light dims immediately. Like right now, no matter where you put it, the light's bright. Now I'm not going to short it out just by touching these 2 wires together, because that would be wrong. Oh, I just did, and the light flickered. So when this thing shorts out, you know it's shorted out by looking at that light right there. And then you take the Monorail right off the track and figure out where the cross connect is. What has happened sometimes, and that's why I take that off there just when I'm talking. What has happened sometimes is putting the Monorail onto the track. these pickups just get pushed over like that, and it just cross connects to the other side, and it shorts out. So it happens. These ones don't normally do it because these are actual pickups from slot cars. My other ones where I just use the wire, and I just expose the wire as the pickups, which does work, and I don't have to keep on soldering braids to other wire. Those things become a bird's nest, and then they start, especially if this one's shorted out and you're not noticing, and you put this one down on the track, and then you put the other one down, and it does, the light does go out. But in the end, I like saying that, in the end, I think this guy's done. I think he's going to be good enough for the show. So I'm going to put him away now. And I'm going to go on to the next one, which I might as well show you this. So this is what I was talking about earlier. Do you see this 2x4 electric plate? Behind this 2x4 electric plate is one 2x2 electric plate coming from this guy. And the top one is a 2x2 electric plate coming from this pickup back here. And so I instead of just making one wire with here to the plate to here, which I'm going to probably modify this one to do now, because this one, you can see, especially on the back, all the wire has been, and this is what's left. Not much there, not much there. This one's getting pretty thin up here and pretty thin up here. This one stopped working. So I'm going to replace the entire set of wires on here. What I've tried to do lately is, before I made my wires exact distance from the motor to the pickups, so I didn't have any slack inside to pull out more wire when necessary. I'm going to add maybe an inch or two if there's space in here to coil it up so you don't see it. And then I'm just going to have the exposed wire poking through the bottom. And as it disappears, I'll just keep on pulling out and stripping the wire. I'll have enough to do that. That's what my plan is. I've never done it this way before. Again, this is all new stuff, as far as I know, and I've looked extensively. I haven't seen anybody else do this with Monorail. Like, I really have not. And every single time I post the layout, I posted it to Classic Space, one of the Facebook groups, Classic Space Facebook group. And a guy goes, "Oh, is that copper on the track, on the Monorail?" Yes, it is. And most people automatically get why I did that, and I don't have to tell them. Some people go, "Why would you put why would you put copper on the Monorail track?" No batteries. No batteries. And now it can be controlled by the RCX. Like, it's a double whammy of awesome. It's a triple whammy of awesome because I don't have to replace batteries. But the pickups, I mean, this is after 3 months of running off and on. Well, not even 3 months, 3 years of off and on running. So I'm not worried about putting the effort into it now. The one thing I am slightly concerned with is there is a little bit of play in here now, like that. That's indicative of the connector wearing out, and then sooner or later these things come up flying off. And that's what happened to this guy until I replaced the bases on here. If you held it like this thing would flop out because the connector didn't have enough grasp anymore. It became plastic dust and it wore out, so you couldn't do this. So last show I replaced these base plates in this Monorail, and of course replacing these base plates is a massive undertaking because all the wiring is in the base plates. Like, there's a lot of wiring here to get the whole thing. You've seen this one, the whole thing lights up. I don't know if I can do it right now. There's pickups there. Let me just see. Put that over there, put that over there, put that here, so you may be able to see it. Put it there, and let's put this thing back on here. Let's see what happens. I always like throw something against the wall and see what. Oh, and absolutely nothing. Is this thing not working? Okay, that's working. The lights aren't working. The lights is not working. It's probably because, well, that's missing pieces. Probably because, maybe not there. There it is. Okay, let's try this again. What's the easiest way of doing this? There we go. I love that. This is my most lit up monorail. I have two, not only just two Life Lights kits. Well, I guess it's two Life Lights kits. I have a Life Lights kits there. So it's 8 lights in here. And I have a Life Lights kits there for the 8 lights in here. And then I have a Rob Hendricks Life Lights 9-volt to 3-volt converter to take the to take the 9-volt pickups into 3-volt Life Lights. And so there's a Life Lights converter right there, 9-volt to 3-volt. And I got one wire going to my front basic and my back basic 8 connector. And then I had to drill holes all the way through here, which is fun, just to get these 4 lights lit up. And the drill holes here to this 3x3 or 3x6 wing plate. And then of course I put the trans yellow connection, slope bricks, cheese slopes on top, just so there. And so there's lots of lights in this guy. It really lights up the night sky. There's light in both cockpits, which is kind of neat. But this is also the heaviest train because it's made up of a lot of basic brick. It's stupid heavy. And I remember wasting so many batteries, like 4 or 5 9-volt batteries a day to have this thing going in a layout. Now, if you go back to, I think, 2010 or before, the square that Jeff and I did, this thing not only had these 2 cars, but I had 4 cars in between. Just passenger cars in between. So it was a stupid heavy train on the batteries. Now, I haven't done that since those cars were taken apart. And I don't have any spare. I think I have 1 spare bogie, so I could probably make 1 car in the middle, but I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it right now because I got a lot to do between now and 21 days. If I have a minute, I might look at that. But right now, this guy is not going to have a car, middle car. I've been thinking about it for a long time, but in the end, that's kind of a no for me. Anywho, I think that's going to be it for now. I'm going to have to find a 2x2. Oh, there's right there. There we go. There we go. So I'm going to not do this guy right now. That's my last one because it's going to be the hardest one. I'm going to do this guy right now. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to do exactly the same thing as I did with this guy. Is I'm going to take my Dremel. I'm going to cut a groove into or notch into the 2x2 electric plate brick, the top part. So I can bring wires up both sides, and I'm going to send one to the front, one to the back, and be done with it. I was planning on adding lighting to this guy. I think this is going to be the hardest guy to add lighting to because there's not a lot of space inside that you can't see. Like this thing, look how much space that you can't see. The whole thing's enclosed. So it's easy to hide 2 Life Lights bricks, a 9-volt to 3-volt converter, and all the wiring overall hidden very, very well, moderately well. You put this thing on. And that hides the rest of it. So there. So the hiding of the wires in that guy, pretty easy because it's completely built in. This thing's open. This thing is 100. It's open. It's got open cockpits. And so trying to hide the wiring in here, a lot more difficult. And I don't have the space. I mean, I think I can have maybe a little bit of space. So I might just have to use. But I do need like a 9-volt to 3-volt converter first of all. Because that's just a given. What I had planned originally, this was kind of a stupid idea, is I still have like a whole bin of EL wire from AliExpress. And I was going to remove, if you get this, I was going to remove all this blue from here and here, and on all the subsequent cars that hold the shuttles. And I was going to run EL wire all the way through. Just make a loop around each vehicle and have them all daisy chain together. And so it'd be like one of those those kids in those cars that have the glowing things underneath the cars. These things would just be glowing and it'd come around the front and go. Now I tried to do that by getting some blue EL wire and just kind of threading it through, and it just became, within a couple seconds I realized it was becoming too burdensome to do that. And the EL wire is slightly flexible, but not very flexible at all. So I couldn't use it to bend around. So you'd have to have each one standalone. Then you have to solder a regular rubber silicone piece of it, a pigtail to it, and then solder it to the next one and going on down the chain. So that's a lot of soldering. And EL wire, it can be done. I've done it to join pieces together or join new wires. Because the tower itself is a testament to soldering EL wire together and having wires run to the EL wire. But it is tough, and it's because there's a little 2 pieces of wire, just a single strand. There's 2 of them that go along the length of the luminescent wire that lights up, and that's what causes when you turn it on, the electricity from the little tiny hair type wire goes through the I want to say the plastic or whatever, the stuff that's going to glow to the center wire, or it goes the other way, whichever way it goes, and it causes the atoms into that's wrapped around to agitate and glow. That's why it works, EL wire. But that single tiny thread wire is very hard to find, first of all. It's very hard to find, and it breaks extremely easy. So when you're trying to strip it, and you're not trying to, because you have to take out the outer shell off now, the clear outer shell, or the shell that actually causes the color, but the clear outer shell, which exposes the single strand wire, and then you have to pull that back, and then you have to take off in one section at the end, the electroluminescent stuff that's wrapped around a single core wire, or the hard core wire. And so you can solder the core wires together, and then you solder the power connection to the core wire, the other power connection to that single thread wire, and make sure they don't touch. And it has a tendency of breaking. I will say that. And if you constantly move like that, it's like any other one single strand is gonna break. This is why they make extension cords with multi-strand thin wires, because you can move it back and forth. It's not going to come apart or break strands. But I've done it because I had to. I had to extend EL wire. I had to make them longer. I had to bring from the power supply to where it is. I had to then solder new connectors, new wires to connect to EL wire. I've done it, but it was a lot of work, and I've wrecked a lot of sections of EL wire by, oh, that didn't work, snip it off, start again. Oh, that didn't work, snip it off, start again. So an inch at a time. And so you have this 1 meter piece that all of a sudden is a half a meter. It was a lot of fun. I'm gonna say that. I mean, the tower still works, and thankfully the EL wire in the tower has never degraded. There's also one problem with the EL wire, is that after 20,000 hours it dims. It dims as it goes along. The longer you leave it on, the more it dims. It's like the old plasma TVs. But I don't plan on having the layout running for 20,000 hours. so I'm good for life. I don't think I'll ever have to replace the EL wire, as far as I'm hoping. And anyway, I'm going to make a semi-short video today, 23 minutes. Because my videos do get a little long. So that's all I have to say tonight. I'm going to go to bed. I'm actually going to work on this tomorrow now, because I didn't realize how late it was. Everybody out there, stay safe, take care, and I will keep you posted on this in the next video.